I will start off by saying thank you to everybody for coming out and joining us for this special feature presentation from Kingsbridge. As you know, we had a little Zoom call on Monday just to discuss what we'll be doing for the month. And so this week, our theme is mental and emotional wellness. And we're very excited to have connections within our residents' lives that allow us to have speakers Zoom in with us. So without further ado, I will let Sharon Deugo have the stage. Thank you, Sharon.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Well, let's start off. My name is Sharon Deugo, and I just want you to know my father is Jim Sigurdsson, and he is a resident at Kingsbridge Community Home. I believe my dad is the reason I'm actually here to speak to you today about aging strong. I wrote a book that was recently published, and I do believe he has distributed it throughout the retirement home. The book is called, as you can see here, Take a Breath, The Path to Living Your Best Life. Now, the premise of the book outlines my perspective on living your best life by understanding the human energy system and consciousness. So I'll first give you a brief description of the work that I do, and then I'm going to move into the questions that I've been asked to answer for you regarding aging strong, focusing on mental and emotional well-being. Now, I work in the field of energy healing, and it's considered a complementary or alternative therapy based on the belief that we have this vital energy that flows through our physical body. Now, this energy is also called life force. Okay, so how this energy moves through the physical body is an indicator of our level of strength, our vigor, and our overall health as we age. So when your life force energy is in balance, most people will feel more connected to life, and this will support a very strong mental and emotional life as well. So the intention of most trained energy practitioners like myself is to move this vital energy that may be blocked in the physical body. Now, signs of this energy blockage could include pain, discomfort, and stress and anxiety would be on the mental emotional range. The intention of the practitioner is to restore the energy to ensure that the areas of discomfort are flowing and the natural healing ability of the body can take over. So practitioners will manipulate the body's energy and promote healing and improve overall health and well-being. Now, for those of you that might wonder what some complementary therapies are or hands-on healers, a massage therapist, for example, does this. A reflexologist would do this. A physiotherapist actually manipulates the physical body as well to get energy moving to the areas that need to be healed. And a doctor of chiropractic would also be an example of this. Now, I focus my work in particular related to mental and emotional health and well-being. So I use energy tools, or I'm trained in different energy modalities that help me to assist my clients release energies, which will include trapped emotions and traumas from the past. Now, these trapped energies can keep them stuck in stress and anxiety, and my intention is to release them so that their vital energy will move through their body to balance and retain their health and their vigor in life. So I'm just going to make one important note before I get to the questions. It is extremely important to never replace medical advice with alternative or complementary therapies unless you're in consultation with your doctor. Underlying health conditions that are being treated must be maintained and sustained to ensure you do not put yourself at risk. So having said that, I'm excited now to get and move forward with the questions. Now, the first question was, what does aging strong look like for seniors as they consider their mental and emotional health? Now, this was a bit of a tricky question for me because my belief personally is that aging strong begins in our youth. Establishing healthy lifestyle choices early in our life will set the stage for aging strong mentally and emotionally. And most of you who are in attendance today, I'm going to take a reach here and say that you're probably in your elder years and have lived a long time. So you have all established your habits and your patterns in the way you live your life. So it's unlikely at this stage I'm going to teach you anything new. However, what I can do is reinforce what I believe is essential for you to continue aging and to be strong through the next phase of your life. So to get started, I just want to talk about what I call the 4 pillars of health. And this information you probably already know, but may not be practicing. These 4 pillars of health are outlined in my book. So if you have a copy, you'll be able to review these regularly. Okay. Now the 4 pillars of health are foundational, much like a house needs a foundation. And they're based on the idea of aging strong. If you want to live long and age strong, we need to build a structural foundation to support our body so it sustains and maintains health and well-being. So the first pillar, and I know you all know this, is eating healthy. This would include live, organic, local foods if possible and available. This time of the year is perfect for that if you get your hands on it. And this should be coupled with drinking really good quality water and enough of it each day. One of the easiest ways to keep your body in balance is hydration. Most people do not drink enough fluids through the day, and this can cause many health risks due to the dehydration. All body functions require water to stay in balance. So drinking, I know this sounds hard, 6 to 8 glasses of fluids a day is really, really important. Okay, I know you all know that, right? Now, pillar number 2. Now this is, I did not get this last night, but getting a good night's sleep is important. We had thunderstorms, so my dog was up all night. So when we're asleep, our bodies do the healing and repair work to keep us vibrant and healthy during our waking hours. So making sure you sleep well is important. Some practices to help with sleep is to ensure you don't eat or drink too late into the evening, because that will disrupt sleep. Having a warm beverage between 6 and 7 is a calming ritual that may be helpful for sleep, but you don't want to do it too late because it could have you up during the night as well. Turn off technology at least an hour before bed and maybe replace it with reading or listening to music, because it just sets the stage for a good night's sleep. Now, the third pillar is movement and activity. To keep our bodies moving daily, either walking, stretching, swimming, if you do yoga, I heard you were going to do some of that this week, or whatever activity you enjoy is so important. The more you keep moving, the more your vital energy will keep your body healthy. Just for example, we have a lymphatic system that eliminates toxins from our body. It doesn't have a pump to make it work like the heart pumps our lifeblood to circulate. The lymphatic system relies on us moving with the contraction of muscles to help us release these toxins that can be harmful to our health and well-being. So movement is important. And exercise strengthens this body, it improves balance, and of course it's going to help in the prevention of falls, which as we age can be catastrophic when we break bones. So we really exercise, and movement is important. Now, the fourth pillar is having a healthy mental and emotional life. This means that you're happy, you're connected to your day-to-day life without stress and anxiety, and that's keeping you stuck maybe in energy that, or a malaise that keeps you feeling sad and anxious. So this would be the area of my expertise. And the one thing that I can say for sure is that aging strong, especially for those of us, including myself, who are in our senior years, is dependent on building on these 4 pillars of health within our daily practices. It is never too late to start to benefit from the results. We each need to look at ourselves holistically, mental, emotional, physical, the spiritual, social, all of that. And that will bring health and longevity into our life. So that's question 1. Now the next question was, what impact might the pandemic have on a senior's mental and emotional health? Well, the COVID-19 pandemic has created in my mind what I would call a global fear response. Now, fear is an emotional energy that is extremely dangerous for our mental health. The seniors community has been hit really hard, and I think we're all aware of that. There is a silver lining in that the spotlight has been put on the need for greater support and attention for our most vulnerable population, and this, thank goodness, is now going to happen. However, the risk factors associated with the flu, let alone a pandemic, has always targeted the elderly and especially those with underlying health conditions. So anyone who is struggling mentally or emotionally right now in response to this pandemic, it is completely understandable and it's somewhat expected. It is a normal response to the unknown. Now, the best defense to manage the stress and anxiety is to stay up to date and informed from reputable sources. Follow the guidelines that are being implemented and focus on your own self-care as this pandemic is going to go through the stages to be resolved. Having said this, it's also important that you manage the stress by seeking support and assistance through the resources that are available to you if you find that you are going into overwhelm. A little later, I will be giving you some strategies you can work on for yourself to support staying in a balanced emotional state on a daily basis. Now, the third question was, what kind of risk factors should a person be wary of as they consider or measure their level of mental and emotional health? This is really important because there are definitely risk factors that will impact your health and well-being if you do not manage stress levels, and especially as it relates to your mental and emotional health. Now, what I found is understanding that our vital energy that runs through our physical body is regulated through a central nervous system. It might help you to understand that some of the fear and anxiety can be managed by you, by the individual. Let me just explain this a bit. The central nervous system has two functions. The two functions are called sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. Now, you're not going to be tested. You don't have to remember this. Just remember there are two functions of the central nervous system. So when we are feeling balanced and healthy in all areas of our life, which includes physical as well as mental and emotional, it means that our parasympathetic nervous system is operating. It's allowing all of our body systems to communicate, to regulate, to balance and sustain health. It's just the place you want to be. Now, when I talk about body systems, I'm talking about like our immune system, our digestive, our respiratory, circulatory, elimination, all of the body systems that keep us alive need to be balanced in order to keep us in optimum health. Now, if we're triggered by fear and stress, similar to what this pandemic has done to all of us, the parasympathetic nervous system will automatically shut down and the sympathetic nervous system comes online. And this nervous system is called our fight or flight response. This means that all of our body systems shut down immediately and all of our vital energy goes to our extremities. So that means arms, our feet, it hopefully goes to our brain. It clears our minds so that we can find a path to escape the danger that we're in. Now, this is called a reptilian brain response because our brain has never evolved from the beginning of time to now to realize that the fight or flight doesn't mean we're running from a saber-toothed tiger and we're sure to die if we don't escape, to the stress that we live in today, which is based on challenges that show up in our life. It's the overwhelm of living day-to-day living. So when we stay in stress, we are staying in the sympathetic nervous system and our body is out of balance. So how you can manage the fear response is recognizing when you are triggered out of your balanced nervous system and you're going into your fight or flight system. Now, how you would know this is happening is you're going to feel anxious, you're going to feel afraid, you might be angry or frustrated. Its emotional energies are going to percolate up. So each one of you knows what that feels like for you when it happens. And because you know that, you can manage it. So the first thing you need to do is take a breath and release it slowly. That's it. Take a breath and release it slowly. And if you keep breathing and focusing on the task of breathing, you will begin to notice that you're calming down. You're stopping the mind chatter in your head that can be overwhelming, and you're actually slowing your heart rate, and your mind will begin to clear, and you're going to start to figure out things that you can do to feel better. As this happens, your sympathetic nervous system is going, something's going on here. We're calming down. Things seem to be okay. And guess what? The parasympathetic nervous system comes back online. Balance and harmony will begin to happen again to mind and body. Now, I'm sure most of you have had someone say to you at some point in your life when you're feeling panicked or you're angry or you're afraid or even when you're in immense pain, and they simply say, take a breath. It's take a breath. By consciously breathing, you're giving yourself an opportunity to calm, to relax, regulate, moderate, and now you're participating in balancing your own body. A balanced body is strong and it is capable of handling the stress from a better energy than fear. So now I do discuss this in great detail in my book, and it falls under the headings of self-awareness, self-care, and self-love. So if you don't have it, I would suggest. I need to point out, when you are emotionally and mentally stressed for prolonged periods of time, your vital energy cannot regulate and balance your body functions. So what that means is your body won't be able to turn on the immune response. If you have an injury, if you've eaten something, your body can't digest food properly. You won't be able to eliminate food. Your heart rate, if it's elevated for long periods of time due to stress, you can have issues with your heart. And there's just all kinds of physical manifestations of illness and disease that can manifest based on your mental and emotional life. So please note, your mental and emotional well-being is an indicator for your physical health as well. They go hand in hand, okay? So this moves me on to the fourth question, and I hope I'm within the time frame here, but what advice would you give to motivate a senior to look after their well-being? Well, I hope the last answer is a motivator. But the one thing that has stood out for me through my own journey into healing and health is that I look at life as a gift. Now, this is a mindset. What I've discovered in my work and working with many clients is that this is not how everyone feels. Most people are stuck in beliefs that, life is hard, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. They feel like a victim of circumstance and that they have no control in their life. So they're giving up and they have lost their joy in life and they feel disconnected. So what I have learned is that how you live your life is really dependent on the decisions you make and what you choose to believe about life. So what motivates me each and every day to age well and be strong is to appreciate and be grateful for all the good things in my life. I mean, there's enough bad things going on in the world, and I could focus on that, but what I choose to do is focus on the good. I no longer give away my energy to the past. I mean, it's done. I can't change it. But what I can do is be the person I want to be now and into the future. And if challenges show up, I've made a decision. I'm going to find a silver lining. Even with this pandemic, find the silver lining and get on with your day. It is a choice. It is a decision. And more importantly, it is a mindset. I work at it every single day, and some days it is harder to do than others. And I'm not going to lie, I'm human. And some days and I'll say it just sucks. But you know what? That happens. Those days are much fewer for me now as I practice staying in my parasympathetic nervous system, because I know it will make me healthier, it will allow me to stay strong, and it will allow my vital energy to move through my body so I am physically aging well. So I am going to share with you those 7 tips or practices that I do daily to help me stay in that more balanced energy. And it'll just take me a few minutes to go through them. But I think they're tips. I have to practice this, and you will too if you take them in as good advice. So the first point or tip is let go of things you can't control. The only thing you can control in your life is you and how you respond to life situations. Trying to control others is just a waste of energy, or situations like the pandemic, it's happened. So what we need to do is control how we respond, how we react to that. And let's face it, as seniors, we know our energy reserves are precious, so why give it away when there's absolutely no payoff? So first tip, let go of things you can't control. Second tip, keep your faith stronger than your fears or larger than your fears. No matter what challenges show up, and they're going to show up every day, trust that you're right where you're supposed to be and all will be well. You're going to get through it. Just trust. Remember the health risks. This is important, that can occur if you stay in fear or anger or frustration for long, prolonged periods of time. It affects your physical health. So whenever you feel your energy begin to drop and you become anxious, remember to break the cycle by taking a breath and moving your energy into a calm and balanced place. This is where health and healing really begins, okay? Third tip, don't do anything that doesn't feel right. Forcing yourself to do things that you don't feel good doing is a drain on your vital energy. So stay strong and just say no. You can do that, you know. The fourth tip, don't be afraid to spend time alone. It doesn't mean loneliness. All it means it's quality time for you to do things for yourself, to read, relax, rest, rejuvenate. It is all time well spent if you can fill up your vital energy tank by focusing on your self-care, and it's just going to prepare you for the rest of your day and the rest of your life. It's really important to have that alone time. The fifth tip, speak kindly to yourself and to others. Your vital energy flows beautifully when you stay in the energy of your heart versus in negativity and judgment. Remember, fear is emotional energy that shows up in various forms. When we judge others or ourselves harshly, it will drop our energy and create a restriction in our vital energy. And again, we know what happens. It affects our health and our balance. So being kind is the easiest way to build up your energy and to stay strong and age well. The sixth tip is please yourself before you please others. Sounds like being selfish, right? It's not. This is so important. If you give all of your energy serving others and you empty your vital energy tank, you will leave yourself open for health risks, both physically and emotionally. Our human vehicle, which is this beautiful body we get to walk around in, is much like a car. It needs gas or energy in the tank to get us to our destinations each and every day. So if you give all of your energy out serving others without stopping to fill your tank, you will eventually run on empty. And that is when your health and your wellness become at risk. So serve yourself first. Seventh and last tip is stay away from people who drain your energy. You all probably know somebody who is like this. They're very negative and they see the world as a bad place. Whenever you're around them, you can just feel yourself lose your energy. This is not good. You need to stay away. Remember, you cannot control how someone else behaves. However, you can control how you do. So self-care and avoid energy, and I call them vampires because they literally plug into you and they suck the life out of you. Don't allow that to happen. And I'm just going to put it out there. If any of you are like that, don't. Stop right now, because the only person you're hurting is yourself, because it's your health and wellness will be compromised. Focus on the good things in your life. Be happy. Enjoy the moments that bring you joy and stay there. So hopefully this advice is simple, but I will say it's not easy because you have to work at it until it becomes a way of being. When you stay present and focused on your health and well-being, both physically and emotionally, you're going to continue to age strong. But you do have to work at it and you do have to practice. So the fifth question now, and I love this, what does success look like? Well, success is creating the habits and patterns of behavior that support the 4 pillars of health and help you build on the 7 tips that I gave you. This means that each day as you get up, have a plan. Focus on nourishing your body, participate in activities that bring you joy, spend time with your community of neighbors, your friends, your family. Get outside, walk the grounds, feel the sun on your face, and hear the sounds of life all around you. By the time your head hits the pillow at bedtime, you're going to feel grateful for a day well lived, and you're going to look forward to tomorrow. Now, the last question is, how does a person have fun with this? Well, I can tell you, I talk to my dad 2 to 3 times a week, and he is having fun. Living in a retirement community like Kingsbridge or being part of any seniors community can foster an environment to have fun as you interact, you participate in planned events and activities with your peers. Not everyone likes to join, and however, whether you do or you don't, you can participate in what you do love and what interests you, and you can just be an observer for the rest. Just be part of it. Aging strong is about being in community, in relationship with others. The support and encouragement you give and receive will keep you in the flow of the right energy to keep you feeling vital and alive and living strong and long. So that brings me to the end of all the questions in my presentation. So I don't know if there are any questions or comments. I'm happy to answer any. So
Can't hear you, Tammy. You're muted, Tammy.
Oh, Okay. So if you have a question for Sharon, then please ask those questions now. We only have a couple of minutes left in our session. I do want to pause at this moment to just say a very special thank you to Sharon. Wise and beautiful words. I felt them in my heart, and we so appreciate your expertise in this field. Certainly helping us and encouraging us to age strong. So thank you so much, Sharon.
It was a pleasure, absolutely pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Does anybody have questions at all? No? We have one over here at the Kingsbridge, yeah.
Hi, my name is Sarah Gordon, and all our lives we've been taught to put people ahead of us, like you help people. So when we come to the point where you say take care of yourself first, you feel guilty.
Absolutely. Trust me, I absolutely hear what you're saying. I mean, we were generations of told that you always put people before yourself. And what I've discovered is that we can be selfish in a beautiful way, because when our energy tank is full, what we have to give on a full tank of gas is so much better than on an empty. So what I've learned is if we can be a little bit selfish and do all the self-care that we need to do to be strong, we have so much more to give to the people around us. And you don't have that feeling of being depleted. Or I know there was times in my life where I was so worn out, burnt out, and I just felt like I wasn't appreciated. And it was just such a toxic energy to be in. And when I started to take care of me first, it was like, wow, I'm better for the people in my life than I was before. So we have to stop feeling guilty. We have to start realizing that the self-care is really what's going to build on our health, and it's going to make us better for the people that we're in community with. So really, really good point.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that. And if anybody has questions that come up later, if you want to write them down and you can send them to me, Tammy, and I would be happy to answer them. It would be my pleasure to do that. So perfect. Tell people that I definitely can do it online.
Okay. All right. Yes. Well, thank you very much, Sharon. And thank you for all those who've attended today. Yeah. Stay tuned. Next week, we have another topic. It's nutrition next week. So how to eat healthy and be well. So have a great week, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.